Hello, welcome back. This is Endo. The Legacy North Sawyer Overhaul Alpha 1.3.1 has been released on the workshop as a mod. If you want to use a mod, of course, you need to download the experimental branch by going into your library and going to properties and changing it to the experimental branch for Stormworks, and it will download the experimental version. So anyways, after you have that, you can download this, which is the North Sawyer Overhaul, the first version. So let's see what this says about the Legacy North Sawyer Overhaul Alpha 1.3.1. Warning, this is a legacy version of Alpha 1.31 of the NSO. The Alpha 2 line is being worked on and will be released separately. Okay, so that's good to note, that if you download this one, it'll probably be a newer download. So this one will be outdated. So if you just want to experiment with this one, I would go ahead and do that, but don't think that you're going to build a game on top of this or a career, because this will be old and a newer version will be coming out. They'll probably be updating incrementally, I'm guessing. But let's keep reading. North Sawyer Overhaul works on extending the world of Stormworks. It changes old locations and replaces it with pretty environments, customizable bases, and mysterious secrets. Changes are performance and multiplayer friendly. Explore the renewed Sawyer Islands, build terminals, and finally take your trains overland. NSO overhauls the Sawyer world in a way that expands on the vanilla gameplay and makes the game world feel much better. Remember to disable default spawning missions when playing with this mod. NSO adds the following to the world: 6 player base areas with edible static zones, buildable terminals for ships, trains, and planes, enlarged and improved editing zones for vehicles, an expanded logistic network with cargo and transit missions pending. So I think this is coming in the newer version, so that's not included here. Scenic areas to explore and travel through. A chain starter and beginner Coast Guard Island. Again, don't build a career on this because it's likely going to get old. Probably not by tomorrow, but this is more like just a preview of what's possible with modding the lands. And now it's easy to download and try yourself using the experimental branch. So I'm going to go ahead and run the video that I did a tour with the creator, Zoe. And there you go. So have fun, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting video. I am here with Tony, and we are standing at, you're not going to believe this, we are standing at O'Neill Airfield, and you can see in the distance there's a control tower, a couple of hangars, and we are on a helipad. Can you tell me what happened to the world of Stormworks?
So about a year ago, I discovered how to change mesh files and change the world elements. Basically, instead of making a mission, you got the right to change the files of how the game is set and spawned and in general works. And so, being a game designer and having some notes about how Stormworks was made, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to start making changes to the map that I wish would be made by the devs. And over a year of after office hours of development, I have successfully, I believe, attained a new world around at least the northern part of this island.
All right, so the northern part mostly, but there is some spread around the whole island, or just the northern part?
The plan is to actually continue this as far as I reasonably could with the time and resources that I have, and eventually just overhaul the entire Sawyer Island group.
All right, well, we have a helicopter here. How about you take us around the island and I'll ask you questions? Does that sound?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going to ask some questions, starting off by, what did you do to this airfield?
The one thing that I'm not necessarily terrible at driving, it's rather piloting, is some airplanes. That's originally also what I came to Stormworks for, is to make rotor airplanes. Because that's something that I really enjoyed from Siege and other games like that. And, the game is fine for that if you're just introduced to it. But then after a while, you start noticing, of course, that the lines on the vanilla, on the stock airport field mesh, they don't make sense. It's just looking at the things, and all of the signs are basically wrong, saying that you cannot launch from there, from either side. Taxiways look like more like runways than the actual runways look like runways, and they're really broad for their length. So one of the things that I wanted to do right here is at least make sure that for people that like role playing and that know the rules of the airport, they have some directives and some areas, for example, these taxiways, to actually follow the rules. For example, you can see not too much into airplane territory. There is mountains on both sides of this on this runway.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for some things, it might not be the safest to take off, especially if you go from south to east from the cross to the yellow arrows to the right of us.
Right. Yeah.
And those yellow arrows in real life indicate a place where if a takeoff fails, that will basically give way and break the airplane. It will basically make sure that you fail safely, so you don't run accidentally into the mountain. Well, for example, you also have the helipads in Stormworks. You can make helicopters just fine, but as far as I know, there is just one area, which is the helicopter Coast Guard outpost, which is made for helicopters, and it's pretty small. The other option is that you do that in the hangar, like one of the hangars here in O'Neill or in Harrison or in the multiplayer base. But at that point, you need to before you test it out, you need to actually get it out of there first, which is a pretty logistical operation. So now, the place where you just spawned it, I don't think you actually showed that, but you have a workbench, and you can just start working. And then as soon as you have your first rotors done, you can start seeing if it's balanced, if it goes into the air, and you can continue working without having to worry about moving your helicopter out and in the workshop.
Right, so you have a lot of custom workbenches placed over here. What is the one below us to our left? What is that for?
Honestly, I wanted to do that in this release, but it took too much time. And while I'm working on it, I realized that I'm not too good at the specific Lua that we have. What I wanted to make, and what this area is made for, is for a sensor array. For example, you have at airports, important for actually saying like, hey, you can land here or not. And for the FTC tower right there, which should also be buildable and editable.
Okay, so what you did is you created workbenches for building vehicles and then kind of workbenches for building environmental add-ons kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Basically what missions could do, but for things that I view as something that might be interesting to have as a basic game need. A mission add-on for flight towers is definitely possible. But why would someone need to learn how to work with missions before they can actually add this type of stuff?
Okay, I see something below us that is completely different, completely new, and kind of exciting. What am I looking at? Is that...
You are looking at a new railway.
A railway? You mean there's railways that go into Sawyer Island?
That actually go overland, yes.
No way.
Let's follow it.
All right, let's follow it. I'm not flying. You're flying.
I am flying, yes.
Okay, wow. Okay, so this is it comes all the way to the airfield, and now we're following it. I guess we're going north, right?
Yes, we are going, I believe, perfectly north right now, but the track here bends a bit to the east.
Okay.
So you will notice right here a bit of a gray area with even more tracks.
Wow.
The person that's helping with this, he has made the tooling, so this is all going faster.
Okay.
It's accurate. And he is especially, like, he came to me because of the train tracks, especially. And that's why I'm currently, for a next future release of NSO, this would be the prime location to make your trains and to get some cargo for cargo missions. This is going to be Leopard Shunting Yard.
Okay, so this is a work in progress. This is not functional right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And then up ahead, you can see, probably you can see some houses, you can see a tower, you can see a dock.
Oh, it's
this
a whole
is
town here.
Yeah, this is the quaint little town of O'Neill, built at the O'Neill Bay and being overlooked by what we're currently hovering over, Fort Lewin.
Wow. Okay, wow. It really brings the world to life. I don't think we've had any place to explore, really, right?
No. I mean, we had some places to explore. I've definitely done my fair share, and that's originally also when I got this with friends back in October of 2020. Our first 12 hours, I believe, were just focused on exploring the world. We had a little boat. We had the actual the vanilla spawn boat. I'm going to set the aircraft down here for a bit.
Okay.
There we go.
Are we going to go check out something?
Yeah, if we could. And meanwhile, I'll continue my story. That's one of the things that is definitely me and my friends in a little dingy boat, going from place to place and just going ashore, going into the night or into foggy situations and having to navigate. That's completely fine if you don't know the map at first, but then you start doing creative work, you start building planes, you start getting the hang of an island. And the problem with the Sawyer Islands, or one of the biggest problems that I have definitely noticed, is that it's about 10 times larger as the Skyrim map. If you take the person size, it's much larger than the GTA 5 map.
Really?
Yeah, it is. A modder on the Stormworks modding forum called DX has, with the tools available, he has ported the GTA 5 map, one-to-one conversion, into Stormworks. And you can see it's next to the Sawyer Islands, or even part of Sawyer Island. You can see it's a little smaller, which doesn't feel the case because there is just nothing there. Of course, there is the South Harbor and there's the North Harbor, and you have the two air bases and some whole town. And let me quickly check. I'm gonna refill the map. If I can't, I'm not locked.
Oh, what did you need to see?
Yeah. Well, I just needed to know. I forgot the name of Olsen Bay. There it is. You have those locations, but they're so far apart that traveling towards there. Ooh.
Oh, so you've put the names here, right? Fort Lowen, that's you?
Fort Lowen. Bay of Vernel.
Oh yeah, Bay of Vernel. Okay.
Yeah, you have some locations. Sadly, the map files to change the actual image of the map, we don't know how to change that. If we could, then definitely I would update that straight ahead. But that we can't change. We can only change the location names. All right, so you can see the train track ends here, and if we were to have a train, we should be able to move it from any terminal all the way to here. And then you see, maybe in the distance, maybe they're a bit unclear, and I should advertise them more.
What's that?
You see, around here, you see another workbench. So this is another terminal, just like South Sawyer and North Sawyer. And you should be able to just build boats here. Another location to build your boats.
Okay, and what are the sizes you're giving on the workbenches? Are you making them larger?
I'm making them slightly larger, but I'm trying to feel it for the size and the importance of the current dock. They don't have a set size, which might need to happen later, just for accessibility. But for now, they are their own sizes, but they are definitely larger than vanilla workbenches.
All right, so this train track only goes from here to the airfield? Is it there?
No, it's connected to all of the train tracks.
Oh, it is? Where did I miss that? Where's it at?
As soon as we're back in the helicopter, I'm going to pin this on my whiteboard currently. I have a little whiteboard tracks showing. So there is another little workbench right here, and that allows us to make our terminal. So if you have a terminal building, whether that be a crane, could you authorize me so I can place something here?
Sure.
So whether that be a crane or it's going to be a building or anything really that the player wants to as a base or a terminal building right here, you can access this structure. I might need to do credits later because I'm taking something from the workshop. Give me 1 second. I'm just placing it.
No problem. Through the power of editing, this will happen instantaneously. Okay, so we have a crane that you loaded from that workbench. Oh, so yeah. Wait, way over here? So I didn't look inside. Let me look inside that workbench. Hold on one second. I want to see what the build area looks like. Okay, so if I put it, okay, so I'm showing the background and the crane in the editor, so you can see that you have this whole build area where you can add your train depot and crane and make kind of a custom.
You can add billers so that you can dock your boats correctly. You can add pontoons so that you can actually access smaller boats more easily.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So you kind of took the idea that they had a long time ago, a long time ago. Stormworks had this idea of building buildings at certain locations, and that's kind of what this is. And you've taken it and put it on the airfield and the North Harbor, South Harbor, stuff like that. So that's very cool.
It's basically, at least, I don't want to say this is all my work. Most of the devs already did the work. It's just that you needed to place these workbenches somewhere.
Right, right. That's what I said. This is like kind of an old idea that they never really expanded on.
Yes, and just applied anywhere where it makes sense.
Shall we head back to the helicopter?
One more thing,
Okay.
which is hopefully really exciting for people that have and enjoy the weapons DLC, and if not, for people that like building static bases.
Okay.
If you'd care to warp towards the bastion, the big tower,
The biggest tower over here?
the biggest tower over here.
Okay. Ta-da! We're here!
Cool. So we also have a workbench right here, which you can interact with.
Okay.
And this is for doing lookout. And I'll just quickly get a gun that I also borrowed from the workshop. I'm gonna need to do some declaring of who built what with you.
Yeah, that would help. So we can throw it in the description below. Are all of these buildings custom, or are these in the game already?
The buildings that I like that you're on standing on right now.
Is what? Custom?
This is custom.
Oh,
This
it's
is
custom, okay.
handcrafted.
Okay, and the buildings down below us, are those Stormworks buildings or custom?
The buildings down below us are base of Stormworks buildings, but I have added a couple of things about it.
Okay.
So first of all, one of the reasons that sometimes you lag is, of course, vertex data and the amount of things that you're loading into the game. That makes sense to most people.
Oh, Maddie was playing with this the other day. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, first let's continue this tangent. Actually, the missile tangent. I'm currently not seeing it because there is a bit of delay for multiplayer.
Oh, yeah.
But this is an area for example, artillery or for some hyper advanced scientific things. This is a military base, so you should be able to, if you have a plan for making guns or making weapons in any type of regard, this is one of the areas that you could actually do it. I have sunken it a bit in the ground here, so hopefully it still works. I actually don't know how to use this.
Yeah.
Do you?
What? No, you have to watch Maddie's video.
Okay, well, Maddie, please, if you do have some time, please send us a video of this.
Yeah, I'll link to it. He already did it.
Yes.
When you spawn these, are they spawning as vehicles or are they spawning as static? They're spawning as vehicles, right?
The main body will spawn as a static. So the red colored rigid body or subgrid would spawn as a static.
Oh, you're. How do you force that?
The way that this works in game, also for the vanilla submarine base and for other locations that already have this feature, although not properly added.
Oh, okay.
The mechanics there are, it just spawns the static. Ooh, I think I overshot.
I deleted it. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. So once you place them and you save your game, they're there. And they're static, right?
They'll just save, and they're going to be static, and yeah, they'll act as vehicles, but the main rigid body,
yeah,
will just be. It will just make sure that that's not moving, and then the other bodies, they are going to have all of the physics applied that you'd expect from the game. So you can make missile systems, you can make crane systems, and you can make any other type of terminal that you want to. You can make a Ferris wheel here if you wanted to.
Okay, cool. All right, we back at the helicopter? Back at the helicopter.
Yeah, we're going back to the
Oh,
helicopter.
I hit the blade. We're back in. Okay, wow. All right. So what is next on the NSO tour? What does NSO stand for?
North Sawyer Overhaul.
Okay.
When I started at first, I had no idea how big the scope of me was, and since it's a after school, after work, and after everything else, like just basically an extra project, I didn't know how much or how long I could work on it. And so I first said, okay, I started at North Sawyer Harbor. That's basically where at least my base of operations was when I started with the game.
Okay. Oh, the train track here is, I see. This is the train track that leads back into the island. Okay.
Yes. And yeah, so I just called it North Sawyer Overhaul because that's the focus that I had.
Well, if you expand it, what are you going to do?
I'm just going to keep on calling it North Sawyer. It will be lying.
So
Right,
is this new? Did you put holes in the mountain right there to make the train track go through?
Yeah, a tunnel.
Oh.
and also a tunnel right here for your vehicles to move through.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take a small detour because, of course, it's nice following the track, but you also have a new coastal area right here.
So, like, I don't know what was here before, but what did you add?
Um, so you can see a more larger cliff right here, and since we're hovering above the air, the scale of it is not really conveyed. So please go into first person just to see the true scale of this.
Okay.
This is well, these are the skills of the chasms, or the cliffs of the chasms. And the chasms are based off a place in Isle of Man named the same thing. There is basically tunnels and chasms carved into the rock next to the water. And the water goes in and the water goes out, and you can see a lot of rock faces right here.
Okay.
Which it's a tourist destination because it's just a cool geographic feature. But since this game is about, or is at least marketed as search and rescue, that's the entire title that it has. Once it gets windy, this would be a very dangerous spot for a tourist to be, and it's also going to be maybe quite a tricky situation to get them out of. So when we do have missions added to NSO, I'd like to see some missions of people trying to go caving or having brought their boat up to this little mouth and then being stuck because it started raining heavily, or it's foggy, or they've just gone lost in these caverns, and that provides you a possible risk if you're actually, or like risk a possible. I know that this might happen, so I'm going to try to plan for these missions.
Okay,
If
so
people get
you've actually tried to build in, like, I guess, locations that would be suitable for missions, rescue missions, actually, and
yeah,
they will change based on if you have a harsh weather, the water's going to come up on this a little bit more, right? And make it a more submerged, right?
it's going to submerge. It's going to, of course, trap people in, and if you have been slammed against some walls in Stormworks, sometimes you do get the damage of just going high velocity. So this area would be kind of dangerous to go into, and having someone be in here and having a mission right here, it's not necessarily a direct fix for missions too repetitive, because after doing the same mission a couple of times, this also would start feeling repetitive.
Right, right.
But at the very least, it adds some opportunities to also have the interaction of terrain with your gameplay. Instead of it just being a backdrop, it's actually part of the world that you are searching and rescuing in, and or moving cargo in, or maybe even doing some exploration yourself, just finding out, hey, there's caves here, I can go in there.
So do you currently have like a little team working with you, or is it just by yourself right now?
I just before release, I have talked with offensive player, which is another person that has been able to use Leopard's modding tool,
Okay.
and he is really good with trains. Now, I have made train tracks here, and they work, but work is with a little trademark icon, because when I say work, well, it's like it's rough, basically.
It's rough. Okay.
So again,
So can I drive on these train tracks? What will happen if I drive on the train tracks?
yeah, you would just be able to drive just fine,
Okay.
but you will notice that the terrain is, or the trains are a bit less smooth than would be comfortable in real life,
So
and so
they'll
player.
my camera will bounce up and down or something, or what?
Yeah, your camera will bounce up and down. You will see your train shaking a bit, and sometimes you might even find an issue where the train not necessarily derails, but it gets some damage because the train track just shifts too hard, or you were going too fast on train tracks that were, not optimized.
Okay. So
So
currently the train tracks are kind of dangerous.
not, yeah, they would, I would say that they're dangerous if you're going on them too fast, and
Okay.
so that's obviously not what's supposed to happen. You want to be able to drive on these smoothly. You want to be able to just move your cargo from base A to B. And so we have a new member, or I have asked a new member called offensive player to basically just work on that and focus on the real roads and the roads themselves. They are already skilled, they are already experienced with the tools that we're using, and yeah, he is now gonna help on the mod.
All right, so you have a train tracks guy on your team now.
Yes.
All right,
I've also
cool.
asked Toastry, which might be a community, well-known community member already.
Okay.
And Toastry is going to help with some mission and Lua stuff.
Oh, you said Toastry?
Toastry, yes.
The one working on the war mod, the war update. Yes, yes.
The
What's it called?
The deal
Improved something.
improved.
I don't know the name. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Toastry. I don't know the name. Yes.
I believe it's improved combat, improved weapons DLC.
Yeah, it basically rebuilds the whole military island takeover script from the devs. Got it. Okay.
And he's going to help us as well, if everything is right with doing mission Lua, and at least being someone that has more experience than I have with making missions that work well and are, built for public consumption.
Okay, forgive me because I can't remember what the map looks like, but is that bridge new?
That bridge is definitely new.
Okay. And these train tracks all below me are new.
Yes.
Okay.
We are currently heading into...
this town is new, right? This town is new.
Yeah. Talking about Toastry, this is a town named after him. I was looking at ways to improve the DLC experience.
Wait, you're able to name things?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me a new shirt? Frantic got a shirt. Can I get a shirt too?
We don't have access to the anim files yet, but I will as soon as we know how to.
I'm just kidding. I was just making a joke. But okay, this is a cool town. So this is named after Toastry.
This is named after Toastry, this town, and it's sitting right here at the Tay River. The Tay River is literally somewhere from Scotland, so I might get some...
Wait, I see. This is so hard for me because I don't remember. So is this river new? This river wasn't here?
Yeah. It's going into one of the big lakes next to North Sawyer.
So this is all new. What I'm looking at was not on the original map.
Everything you see here should be brand new.
Wow.
At least it follows the idea of the map, but this is edited and expanded terrain so that you can now have a riverboat or like a lake boat.
Yeah.
Right here, and you can just, again, talking about missions, you can have some people having a nice little vacation on here, and then all of a sudden, in the shallows over there, they get stranded because they haven't noticed how shallow it is.
Okay, so you guys don't have a mission builder yet, right?
We don't have missions yet.
All right.
They will bits to make.
All right, so if anybody is watching this video and you want to be part of this project, how would they contact you?
Well, the thing is I don't want to manage too big of a team.
Okay.
So what I would love to see is people just saying, I want to know how to change the map myself. This is by no means official content. So if you have your own view of how the map should work, or if you want to do an entire new lands experiment, there will be tutorials, and there is some tutorials out already on how to change the meshes, but also how to change the world itself.
All right, so what is next on our tour?
Well, currently we're looking back again at the airport, which we're not going to. We're going to do a 180-degree turn. We're going to go back over the lake.
Okay.
And I guess what we can do is we can stay away from the main spectacle, the new O'Neill Harbor and the Shattered Islands. We can first go to this beautiful place, or beautiful, I just like having this, a highway. A place for your cars to finally drive around with.
Is this river new that's in front of us?
It's not new. It's where the original river is.
But that
all of in there is edited.
But the little islands in the center are new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I want to do water. What is it? Water raft. White water rafting.
Yo, that would actually be really cool. Below us, we have we have three main roads of approach for anyone that wants to travel. We have the train, we have a highway, and we have, of course, a river. So this highway, it's smoothed out to the most realistic of standards. At least I tried to. There might still be some bumps because I've just not noticed them yet.
Okay.
But going at high speeds with your vehicles that you've just built, or the trucks that are carrying heavy loads, you would be able to just take them all the way from the little mountain where we just started, and in the future even farther, through Whole Town, which you can see also got a completely new different face. It's much more woody, like the name would suggest, with Holt. There is more roads in it, and of course it's making way for the highway right here.
Okay, so the highway, to explain to people, you've tried to flatten the land as much as possible so that when you're on a road, the vehicles are able to maintain a high speed?
Yes, you shouldn't have any bumps, and you should also just be able to have more road and more guidance to also drive in dark areas when it's night.
Oh, there's a
following the
tunnel
very
again,
difficult.
huh? Wow.
No.
Yeah.
If we were in the car, we would be able to explore it. But now we just need to go over the mountains right here, which are ending up in a really small little lake right here at the end of the river. And then eventually mouthing out, you can see the tunnel to the right of us, again, just opening up a bit before finally heading into the bridge and heading off into a land that will be up for development in the future.
Okay, so we're actually going quite south now, aren't we?
This is going more west. This is towards
Where are we at?
Sunbelt.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
We're very west. Okay, I got lost. Sorry. Ignore what I said.
No problem.
This is why people don't let me drive when we do it in real life, because I get lost.
I am going to quickly set our helicopter down next to this new dirty runway.
Oh.
Now, there is no editor zones right here. This must have been a runway that has been abandoned by a long time. But it is here, so you can land your planes and you can land your helicopters here if you want to.
Is that ground actually smoothed out for landing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a biplane that is made, that looks exactly like some old German World War I planes. And they can land and take off fine here.
All right, so we are on a abandoned World War I, I'm going to say World War I airfield. Or a farm airfield, or whatever. It is a dirt airfield is what this is.
Yeah.
And it's nice and smooth. You can see if I get on the airfield. And the way you do this is you actually have to use Blender, right? The world is all 3D objects that you have to like edit and create.
The world would be the same as me editing a house in Stormworks, or changing some colors in Stormworks. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily, it's a little less accessible. You cannot just have an idea. I want to make this terrain. You do need to put a little bit more effort in, or at least get a bit used to the interfaces and how things work.
We cannot sit on the bench. What's up with this?
Right, so sitting on the bench is basically they added another vehicle. Every bench has like a vehicle that's just one seat.
Okay.
The same happens for beds. It also loads in just a bed item, but it's invisible. So I have opted for this bench not to be able to sit on, because you can just emulate it like this. You might be able to edit.
I don't know. That looks like you're pooping on the bench.
Well, fair enough. Anyway, it loads in another vehicle, which, to my knowledge, at least as far as I can see, and see what's happening with the game, it's another vehicle to load in for Stormworks. So removing things like this that
you know what? These just gave me an idea. Do you know how to like add decorations from the holidays to things?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, there is a you have a tag in the world files to say this is the meshes that get added when it's winter, or that get added when it's Halloween.
Oh, so do you have that already inside these files that you've created?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I haven't yet. I've seen it and I have tested it, but you cannot really test it without changing either your date on your your Windows machine,
Oh,
or
okay. That's fine. I was just curious.
it might be something that I might do as a Halloween joke or something, but it's not.
Okay.
Um, it's just extra work that might not be beneficial for me to work on until most of this is done.
All right. So I'm looking at the map just to show people like where we are. We are way um east, right? Yeah, we're east. Um,
West.
wait, west? No, we're east.
Um,
Wait.
West.
Oh, what is that? There's a vehicle all the way to the east. I thought that was us. What is that?
To the east. Oh, hey, that's you're completely correct. That is that
What?
was the crane that I found.
Oh, that was the
I-
crane. Oh my. Okay. See, this is why I get lost. Okay, so here we are. This is the airfield, Holt Airfield. Wow. Everybody, you need to download this and explore it yourself because I am going to get you lost. So, just to, before we're not done with the video yet, but in the description below is all the links and information you need to the mod. And then I'll be making a new video how to install this and uninstall this that will be linked at the end of this video. But we're going to go ahead and keep touring, I guess.
Yes, we definitely will, because there is just a bit more to see.
Okay.
We can take our helicopter again, and maybe you can see in the distance, you can see a big mountain that you can always see from North Harbor as well.
By the volcano over there, or to the right, left? Which one?
If you go face it immediately back, that's that mountain there.
Oh, that mountain. Okay. Is that new mountain or that's old mountain?
It's an old mountain, but what I've added, we're not going to take it because that's going to take way too long, of course.
It's going to take way too long?
It's going to take way too long to walk it, but there is now
okay.
walking.
There's now a what?
There's now a walking trail. So if you ever
trail?
want to do some exploring on Stormworks, well, of course there is a lot of new places that you can walk at. But if you want to see some really scenic views and you don't want to use helicopters or planes because it makes you feel so grand and it makes the Stormworks world feel so much smaller. If you set down at the top of the mountain or even walk there, you can see maybe already a pathway coming over the horizon. That leads all the way to the top, and you can do some hiking, and you can see the islands, and you can see some new edited areas. Okay. And at the top, you see all of the edited areas really well.
Okay, I see a few trails down there.
You also see a railroad, currently lacking a bridge, because one of the things that I needed to leave out were most of the bridge meshes. I wanted to do custom bridges for specific areas, because having the same bridge everywhere just feels wrong somewhere.
Okay.
But that takes some extra time to model and get right. So that's like everywhere you can see some railways float right here. Those will be edited back into actual train lines.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm sure you answered this already, but for every trail, for every road, how much effort do you put into making it kind of like a flat trail or flat road?
So, when I created initially, I at least tried to find a path that makes the most sense from going one place to the other. I am not a civil designer or a civil engineer, so I don't know if it's using the correct rules and the correct thought process, but I just look at maps of real live areas and I just try to guess. Okay. And then what happens is I just place it. I try to smooth it out myself first. And then I ask an in-house tester. I have 2 or 3 people that are close friends and that can test the game and the mod whenever I need and whenever they want to. And I basically just tell them like, hey, currently I want to smooth out the roads. Could you please tell me every place, go around the world, tell me every place where the road is not smooth or will cause problems with your vehicles where you really wish that wasn't the case. And then they go drive around the world and they will tell me this is a place where I cannot drive properly because the roads are not smooth enough for this type of terrain.
Okay. And people need to understand, like, this game actually is, it's a grid of 3D objects, right? So every piece of land that you have to fix, you have to load that piece of land in, tweak it, and then tweak the one next to it, and next to it, and next to it, right?
I have a really big file with all of the meshes that so far I've edited and their neighboring tiles. And so in Blender, I have just because all of these files are 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, all of the world's terrain files.
And you have to edit
So
each one by one.
I have to edit each one, but they're all in the same Blender file.
Okay.
So I can see, oh, that doesn't match up, or if I don't see it, I can at least, when people notice that it's not matching up, perfectly
Okay,
fine.
so you can load the whole map of Sawyer Isles in one Blender file, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
And then you can tweak them, and then when you export each section one by one, then they all fit together in the game. Okay, got it.
Exporting and doing that's one by one, and that's also one of those. It takes ages to just go through everything if you just exported everything, and you just do the same job. Just click, 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 enter, click, 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 enter, click, 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 enter. Which it's therapeutic to do, but definitely is a little time sink.
Yeah. Is this new below us? Is this landmass new below us?
This island currently here is new. This is one of the Shattered Islands. So I wanted to have a bit more of a, not necessarily fantasy view, but a bit more of a feeling of you are currently in the safe and shallow part of Sawyer, and now you're going into the deep wide ocean. And you also have the original, or the not original, the spawn island and the hospital island. And below us currently, this is randomly spawned. This is one of the stock randomly spawned areas. But if we go a bit further, you can see, probably you don't recognize this. This is where the new Coast Guard beginner outpost is, where you have the hospital. You also now have a police stoot. You have a bit of a village, so it feels a little more alive. And then I can just, I believe...
Oh, there's a ramp there too.
2 ramps, if everything is... No, actually 1 ramp. I have misremembered.
Okay, so this whole island is new too?
This is completely new. It's completely changed from what it was originally. But it should serve the same purpose of when you are going into the search and rescue career. You can actually make your bikes here. You can build your vehicles here, and then when you're done with doing a mission, instead of having to go to the hospital island and back again, what you can do is you can opt to have, in the future, of course, you can opt to have hospital beds in your own base, lay them down, and then a mission will realize, oh, you are currently in this tile, and you've placed a passenger or a person in hospital beds that needed it. We're going to give you a reward anyway. Or when you don't have that technology yet, you can go into the hospital area right here, but you don't have to trek your boat all the way back to your to the base island, which you see over there. Also completely changed. You can just stay on the same island and you can expand your base.
So I don't really play career mode. I don't think I've ever actually played career mode. But do you have the purchase location thing set up in your files as well, where you purchase a location?
Not yet.
Not yet.
The worst with that, but it will be there when we are making career advances.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, and you can see here, static vehicle create structure for the Coast Guard base, which is in this spot. This is where you can build a house or you can build a facility for your hospitals.
Okay.
And then you can change the dock, so you can make an entire hangar. You can make a crane here, fuel gantries, whatever you want as a player yourself.
So is our tour done? Is our tour finished?
So we have the Hoy Island here, which is the original beginner island.
Okay.
Which, if we can take the helicopter, I would like to show that because it's been an absolute pleasure to work on that. And then we, of course, also have the North Sawyer Harbor to work on.
Right now, they're still being worked on. Is that what you're saying?
No, that you can work at.
Okay. So is this new right here? This is new?
This is fully new.
What is that on the right? Those are crazy looking rocks.
Yes. So this is the Isle of Hoy, which is a bit of a pun. It is a pun on my last name, but it's also a beautiful rock called the Old Man of Hoy. That's a real place in Scotland, which is not necessarily an exact replica, but it's the same idea of a land formation that is slowly being washed away by the water, like over millions of years.
Okay.
This is this is, since there is plenty of puns to be made with hoi. Of course, it's in some languages it's already hello. You also have the seaman's phrase ahoy, which is also hello or welcome. And this is the island that, if you're starting a career mode or if you're just taking the tutorial, this is where you'll spawn at.
Oh, this is now the new starter island?
It's the new starter island.
Oh, that's nice. I like this much better than the lighthouse thing. So, question for you. Is this island going to be randomly placed in the world? This is not part of the Sawyer Island, right?
This is technically part of the Shattered Islands, which are the islands that we've just flown across.
Oh, and those are randomly placed?
No, those will be spawned like always at the same place right here.
Oh, okay.
So you can always rely upon this island to be where it is.
So this starter base will stay here as well? It'll always spawn right here?
And the missions will always, at least the tutorial missions and the career missions will start spawning first around here, since this is a pretty easy to start with area. And then from there you can go make a connection with the mainland, and you can work on the mainland to do all of your awesome creations.
Okay, cool. All right.
And then the very last thing that we're going to is going to be the North Sawyer Harbor.
Yeah, I like these rocks that kind of stick out of the water. They look really, I don't know, I want to say realistic, but it just looks good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they are realistic. Looking at some of the terrain around, for example, Isle of Man in Scotland, you do see these types of rocks, but of course they have a certain logic to it, and I haven't applied that logic of following geographic terrain.
And why are you modeling Scotland a lot? Why is what's the draw?
Right, you hear a lot of Scotland. In a long while ago, the devs have said that the Sawyer Islands are based on Scotland.
Oh, that's right. Yes, they did. Okay.
So, well, of course, it is not necessary for me to use a lot of Scotland. I have been to Scotland. It's one of my favorite places, one of my favorite people to talk to and talk with. And when I heard that it was Scotland, I can see that some places that it is based on things, but mostly you don't really see it back. And I really wanted at least to have a part of the world look like Scotland would in real life, or at least have that same feeling of being coastal, mountainous, and not necessarily densely populated, but you do have areas of population where you can go to a town, you can just you can drink a beer or a whiskey with clansmen, you can see castles, and that with a pretty well worked, pretty well created rail system and road system and naval system. It is a perfect place for the type of game of Stormworks to take place in, especially with the search and rescue and the cargo missions. It's budging, isn't it?
It's stuck.
Oh. There.
Let me out. Let me out. Oh, jeez Louise. Really?
Just at the last moment, right?
At the last part of the video, the door is not going to let me out. Oh my gosh, what will I ever do? Should I hit home? Oh, I hit home. Okay.
Right. So, I have a lot of my inspiration of making terrain, of the terrain for at least this world, has come from my experience in my travels in Scotland, in that area, because it's so scenic and it's just it never fails to bore at least me.
Okay, here's a question. When you are making this, did you put your inside Blender or whatever you're using? Did you put your camera down and kind of look around and say, "Oh, that place looks a little bit boring. Let me add something on that side," and stuff like that?
I try to. The thing is, just sometimes you have bugs, and I'm gonna quickly check if I just spotted with my little eye. Yes, I have spotted something that I must have messed up in the last patch.
Okay.
You see the little rock right there, which is not supposed to peek out.
Oh, the little rock.
So
Yes.
I'll place that down and move it down a bit again. But yeah, I look at this the world and see, okay, this feels still a bit empty, and people will probably, you're right there, or you're gonna go into the rock, yeah.
Yeah. So this is not supposed to be here.
Yeah, this is supposed to go a little down, so you can actually put your boats next to here as well.
Okay. So the seagulls are not supposed to be hanging out right here. Got it. Okay.
Those are supposed to be hanging out on the dock itself and
Okay.
on the treetops and everything.
All right. Did you do any like underwater stuff, or is it mostly just rocks and stuff like that?
Definitely you did. It's just that we cannot visit that with a helicopter.
Oh, okay. All right. So if you, where would people look? Where are the places on the map they should look for underwater stuff?
Take a little look on at the underwater next to the cliffs in the distance.
Okay.
If
On
you
the
remember, all the
on the west
next
side?
to-
On the west side more?
on the east side.
On the east side. Okay.
Yeah, where we came from with O'Neill and with Fort Lewin and. that
Okay.
place.
So the Bay of O'Neill is kind of a good place to look around.
Yeah, the cliffs next to the chasms, rather.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right there. Okay. Got it. All right. So if
And
you want
then-
to see some underwater stuff, that's where you want to go. Okay. What do we have here? Is this another hangar? Oh, there you go.
This is not a hangar. This is a workplace for the North Sawyer Harbor.
Terminal
so you-
create structure. I'm going to click this button.
Yeah, click it. You can change the entire terminal right here to fit whatever you need. Just like the terminal at O'Neill, you can make fuel gantries, you can make cranes here. You can set your own place and base
Okay, wait.
up for cargo operations, for science operations, for if you want to do a entire theme park here.
Are these new objects in here? Is this new or is this Stormworks?
This is Stormworks default. It's just that I have ported them from another place where they put the effort in.
Oh, where are these chains from? I don't think I've seen those before.
These chains are from the shipbreaking yard.
Really?
Yeah, and I believe the shipbreaking yard, if I remember very correctly, that is named after you, isn't it?
Oh no, I'm the. They put me out in the snow alone at a little train depot. They put me in the cold.
Right. Terminal Endo.
Yeah, Terminal Endo's in the cold. They put me out in the cold.
Yes. These objects are from Magnus Shipbreaking Limited.
Okay. Wow. I guess I never really went there because I never saw this stuff. Wow.
Yeah, there's no reason to stop your train there. There's no editors. There is no nothing. It's
Okay.
just a stop on your way from Arctic to here.
All right. So Tony, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, we should probably.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to link in the description to the Nexus mod. I'm going to link to where do you hang out? The SMF?
I hang out in your server.
My server? Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I've boosted it yesterday, so
but your project, do you post mostly in the SMS about your project?
I post my updates as a sort of devlog in a community platform on Stormworks Modding Forum, and you can always reach me on there.
Okay.
If you have any bugs to report, or if you have any suggestions, or want to start a topic, you can also talk on the Nexus.
Okay. Oh, on the Nexus itself, which is the website where you can download this mod. All right. So I'll link to that as well. And then I'm going to do a whole video after you leave on how to uninstall and install this, which is relatively easy. I've done it for the past couple days and no problems. Oh, we should probably talk about if you are running a server and your friend does not have this installed, what will happen?
You will either crash, or at least the person that's playing with you will either crash, or they will still be using the original meshes. So something might not look correctly, but either of those things is pretty loud. You will notice that immediately.
Okay.
And then first thing you should check is if both of you have the mod installed.
Right. Okay, so the biggest thing to take away that I want people to understand, because I know that Jersey and Deltars do not like mods and they scare people away, they're not going to hurt your computer. It may crash the game, you may have to uninstall something and reinstall it, but it's not going to break your game as far as like we will never be able to play it again or break your computer. You just uninstall and install. That's it. You can use the... Yeah, go ahead.
Your save files will be completely safe. They are stored in a different part of the part of your computer, one that I will never access for mods, or no one else will access for mods. And if something breaks and you want to fix it, you can easily just verify Steam integrity. If that doesn't fix it, or there are still some problems left, you can uninstall and reinstall, and it will just reset your game and keep all of your files that you've been working on Nothing will break. It will all be safe.
Okay. Yeah, just want to make that clear because people get scared of mods. It's been going on for years. Modding is a community of people that care about a game, and they try to add new features and new things to see, new things to do, and that's all it is. It's just a love of the game, so please don't be scared of mods. And if you have questions or concerns, you can always hit the SMF and ask questions to the folks there that are creating mods, as far, like even, block mods like they lease and all that stuff. So don't be scared to ask if you're not really, sure about mods. Go ask. Don't get scared away and not try it, because they are really fun. Like, as you can see, we just toured the island and there's so much to see. It's amazing. I'm going to take a train and actually drive the track because I want to see what it's like to drive on the landmass with the trees like going past the windows and stuff like that. I don't know. It seems pretty exciting. I'm going to try that right now, actually.
Also take a boat, go to around the water.
Oh, up and down the river. Yes, up and down the river and the lake. Yeah.
For that matter, and a plane to just get the entire experience. Submarines, you will see the underwater around the coast completely changed.
Okay, very cool. Thank you so much, Tony, for visiting me. So when you update this, please contact me and we can do another like mini tour of what you've been adding. If you added a new location or something like that. I think that would be fun.
Will do, yeah.
All right, so everything is in the description below. If you want to find out how to install the mod, click on the video that should be appearing on the left, I hope, and we can install it together and uninstall it together. All right, that's it. Tony, any final words?
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on by. All right, we'll see you next time. What?
Bye-bye.
Bye.